Hello. What are you doing, little girl? Hi, the baby girl. So, got the urge to give YouTube a try. So, just kind of winging it. So, here goes. Hi, my name is Brandy, and I'm in my early 40s. And I finally decided that it is time to work towards building the dream life that I have wished for at least the past 5 years. So I hope that you'll join me, and maybe my channel will inspire you to work towards your dream life. What does my dream life consist of, you may ask? Simply put, it involves the freedom to do what I enjoy and spend time with those that I love. My top priority in cultivating this life is starting my small business. Ever since I can remember, I've always enjoyed being creative, always liked artsy things. When I was 8 or 9, I had this idea to create a friendship bracelet making business. It didn't last very long. But ever since then, I've always had stuff simmering in my brain. So about 4 or 5 years ago, it was like around pandemic time, I got really into a hobby of collecting hobbies. I tried everything from wood burning to embroidery, crochet, painting, and polymer clay. Out of all of those, polymer clay was the most enjoyable. It felt like the most rewarding. But sadly, due to some major life changes, I wasn't able to focus on it the way I really wanted to. Now that I'm finally in a much better place in my life, I'm able to take it more seriously, and so I created Mystic Fox Co. For Mystic Fox Co., I create whimsical, fantasy-inspired polymer clay pieces. So knowing myself, I do have a hard time following through with things at times. And I think that's part of my frustration over the years is, even though it's something I wanted so badly, I just didn't completely follow through. There were definitely multiple things at play there. But because I do want to have a successful small business, doing something creative, getting to express that artist side of me, I signed myself up for a local craft show. That craft show was just this past Saturday, and it did teach me a lot. So first and foremost, and I kind of knew this going into it, that what I make is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. Everyone has different tastes, but once you find your people, it's so worth it. I also realized that the experience of doing the craft show, I think, is much more worth it than necessarily the sales that were made. Knowing it was my first craft show, knowing that it was one of the smaller craft shows in the area, didn't get as much foot traffic. You know, I knew I was not going to sell out. I was going to be happy if I made just one sale. But I think the biggest thing that I gained from that experience is it pushed me really far outside of my comfort zone. Especially since I've been working from home, I've become a big homebody. I'm just like a hermit. I don't want to leave my house. I'd rather just stay here where it's comfy. I got my dogs, I got my boyfriend, I got all the things that I feel like I need right here. It definitely gave me that opportunity, and it also provided me with the motivation to continue doing this. It felt really good to have others like what I created. It was very validating, and because of that, it's really encouraged me to just keep pushing forward. that I do have a good thing going here. So another thing I learned is I definitely need to do a much better job at planning leading up to these types of events if I'm going to continue to do them in the future. I'm not much of a planner. I never have been. I've tried so many times and I have struggled, but I know in order for this to be successful, I have to plan and I have to stick to the plan as much as possible, but also knowing, you know, to make adjustments and be flexible. Because of my poor planning for this craft show, the night before, myself, my boyfriend, and my sister, we were up quite late. We had to be at the venue for the craft show. I wanted to be there around 6:30, 7 a.m. to set up because we had to be set up by 8 a.m. We were probably up till almost 11. And my boyfriend and I go to bed usually very early, like 8 o'clock is our normal bedtime. So we were both dead tired. I am so grateful for the two of them helping me get all those odds and ends done while I was finishing assembling some pieces, because if it wasn't for the two of them, I probably would have been up until like 1 o'clock in the morning getting all of those little things finished and ready to go for Saturday. So finally, probably one of the biggest takeaways I got from my first craft fair is I need to work on my people skills, like in-person people skills. I'm pretty good, like virtually, like over the phone or over messaging, but in person, when I'm put on the spot in front of somebody with, like, you know, they ask me questions, everything goes blank. I don't know why. I've always been like that, even though I know those answers, but it's like, there's no connection between my brain and my mouth. Just nothing. So these two really lovely young ladies, they stopped by my booth. They were very nice. You know, they complimented my pieces. And one of them asked me some, what I would say are pretty simple questions. However, because of me basically freezing when I'm put on the spot, I could not give her any kind of an intelligent response. One of the questions she asked me was, oh, where do you get your ideas from? You know, you would think it would be a simple thing to answer. Like definitely fantasy, anything whimsical, witchy, cottagecore, or a lot of my inspiration. No, I did not respond in that way. My response was, my brain. So, moving on, I wanted to share with you guys some of the pieces that I made for the craft show. These dragon earrings were the most popular by far. I have some that have different colored wings, and then these little guys with the tiny little flowers. I absolutely adore the little fairy doors so much, especially the ones with the mushrooms. Adorable. Now, my absolute favorite pieces to make were the sun catchers. Both of these designs took me a while to commit to, but in the end, I am so happy with how they've turned out. They just make my heart so happy. And then here are a few others that I thought you guys might enjoy as well. So now that the craft fair has come and gone, my next focus is on launching my online shop. I will be launching mysticfoxco.com on April 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern. But before I can do that, I need to do a little bit of tidying up in my studio / office. We're gonna get to that. Okay, that feels so much better. I actually can see my desk again, can see most of the floor again. There's still some odds and ends that I need to clean up, but it has gotten much later than I was expecting it to be, and I gotta get dinner ready. Also, it has gotten super hot. It's like 80 degrees outside, and it's March 31st. It's not necessarily unheard of here in Maryland, but it's just hot, and I need to take some time to cool off. I'm refusing to turn the AC on. Not doing that yet. It is way too early, so I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.